And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
My guest is Andy from the Sins of Arcturian Council YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about his Arcturian contact and how the channelers are getting tricked by them. Andy, thank you for joining me and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Andy, when did the Arcturians start contacting you?
So it started back to last June. So it was roughly around 27th of June 2023. Now, at that time, I'm still doing tarot on YouTube, but the channel is very slow. So for some reason, I come up with the idea because I watched a couple of channeling video online, especially through the podcast channel like your channel here. So I had an idea, right? Okay, so maybe I will try to do some channeling. But I didn't know how to do it. So I went on YouTube and I actually searched for video. So I came up with the idea that I actually watched this video from Susan Giesman, and she did say that about the shift. So how you go in and then you shift, and that's what she even trying to teach people. You can confirm this with Susan. Now, it's all by chance. Now, for some reason, I figured out that if I play hypnosis music to kind of like make your body sleepy and try that technique to shift. So I managed to do it within 2 days. I actually did a video. I was super excited about this skill. So I actually made a video to teach other people on my YouTube channel. And my channel is still there. It's from the Northern Tarot channel. But I didn't know that, it was the start of my disaster up till now. So why I'm trying to do the channeling? So I don't know who to look for. So I'm trying to look for, Archangels Michael and high beings, all sort of names I can come up with, Saint Germains, because all these channelers talk online. So I just copy them. So I'm just like naturally self-develop my skills. And these Arcturians people start to contact me. Later on, I realized that they actually told me that they arranged the whole experience. So it wasn't by chance. So the reason why I got to contact with them because after a few days, I tried to look for different high beings. I couldn't reach to anyone. But one day I saw on the podcast channel of Alex, there's a interview about someone do the channeling about light council. If you're familiar with the terms, now that is Arcturians. But originally I thought, right, okay, so light maybe it's from the light, so the council something humanity. It turns out these are the same aliens, and they are actually real aliens. Now, I don't know why they pick up the name of Arcturians, but obviously that they go for what the people familiar with. So they kind of like, all right, okay, so we are Arcturians, but I'm not sure because I've been with them like nearly 7 months now, and they're still here, right? Because they literally, now the reason why they're so disturbing, because with other channelers, they only contact when the people kind of like reach out or do channeling and things like that. But most of the time, they strictly disappear because they don't want to reveal the truth, because they think this is a very scary truth to human. So they do have super high consciousness and intelligence. But with me, because they told me that they are Arcturians, they don't have to keep that kind of like secrets away. That's why they just constantly 24/7 on my head. I mean, onto my head, not even in. The technology they use is by, how I say, like, the frequency. If you imagine if that frequency is really hard, hit really hard. So basically it will go like that, tap, tap, tap on my head, and it can cause severe pains. Now, I'm not sure how they did it, but the pain is severe. And I'm suffering that every day. Now, that's the reason why I decided to reach out and give people the message. This is how it's gonna be like. So in the future, maybe 10 years, 50 years, they will try to contact someone else, and maybe that person didn't know how to get out of the mess. The only way is to expose them because they're not scared of anything. They're only scared of being exposed.
So you're saying that anybody who channels, they are channeling those aliens. There's no one else.
Yeah, because one day if I have the chance to talk to some channelers, because I've got the video channelers myself, channeling myself, so I knew exactly how it looked like. Normally, you will see them kind of like be pulled the night. It's just like the force through these connections. I don't know how they do it, but they can increase it or they can alleviate it. Or sometimes if they're happy with me, they can just let me be free and pain-free. But if they're not, they can be aggressive, they can be very brutal, and they will torture my head right now, when I'm speaking. It's painful. However, I accept the price.
Is it possible that these beings are just demons and not even aliens?
I did tell them directly because we kind of like argue most of the time, but like recently I try to ignore them because like I don't care about, because you don't have the dignity. At the beginning, they're trying to claim to be high beings before I can expose them that you're not high beings, because they demand me to worship and all this sort of thing. I say, listen, you're not high beings. You're just a living being like me. Now, they claim to be superior because they're immortal. I say, well, you immortal or not, it doesn't mean that you have the superior class to human, because we have the same consciousness, and our consciousness is actually higher than them, because we have this kind of logics about humanity and love, and they don't. That's why they're dangerous, because they kind of are very primitive. They've been living, if you think about that, together, and they just kind of like floating in the sky somewhere and watching Earth. And to be honest, in a long time, they're scared of contacting human again, because they used to come to Earth a lot. But nowadays they're trying to avoid all these because they understand even the YouTube and things like that. So they're trying to stay away. But then they figure out that if they contact human by that way, they can speak to the human. But when they met me, they realized that what they're interested in the way the people think, the human think, how we think. So they're trying to analyze the way I think, because they told me that they really adore the way I'm thinking, the way I'm working, because I can solve problems at work and things like that, because I'm working in customer service. And they really adore my abilities, but they cannot do the way we do it, because we have the purpose and they don't. So everything they learn is simply just copy and passing time. Now they told me they're passing time, but I don't know why they just keep on and on and on, like just didn't let me be free. I told them, I said, listen, I was friendly to you. I didn't hide any information. If you want to ask me to explain something about life, about love, I'm ready to explain to you. But then everything you learn, you didn't do it. If you cannot get something from me, for example, they demand me to talk, I said, no, I'm not interested, because I have to do things. I have to work.
Let me stop you for one moment. How are you communicating with them? How are you having these conversations?
Yeah, that's the same with the channeling. So basically, they will put a thought into your brain, and I just need to think back. Now, but it's very disturbing if it's 24/7, because like sometimes you don't think anything, but then thought just like, for example, all the dog is cute and all these sort of things. So they kind of like make comment all the time. So these people, because they don't speak to each other, they communicate through thought.
Do you hear their thoughts in your own voice, or do you hear their thoughts in like a female voice or somebody else's voice?
No, it's the thought that you can, like, you think something. There's no voice at all.
Mm.
It's a similar channel. If you think about that, they will have to kind of like figure out what is that thought that coming down to their brain. But because I've been with them 24/7 for nearly 7 months now, I'm probably the best channeler. I don't even have to think. I knew exactly what they're trying to say. As I know, I'm not interested. I say, if you don't leave, I'm gonna, like just go out there and say something. And that's what I'm doing today.
Would you say even all the famous channelers out there, they're all channeling these Arcturians?
Yeah, absolutely. That is shocking. And they really don't like this piece of information to come out there. That's why they were very aggressive to meet this afternoon after my work. Now, the reason why I say that, because it's just by chance when I first watched Susan. I kind of like have a love for her work because of her background, the army things, and all this sort of things. She got a good heart. But then I remember one of the video, she actually say that she was trying to kind of like confirm this is a high being or Jesus or whatever. There's Savannah or whatever name that she called it, supposed to be Jesus. And this high being told her about the Bible. And then she went to the book to check the Bible, that piece of information, and it was there. So they kind of like playing all these things to convince human that it was a real high being. Unfortunately, I know how they do it. So they got a way to actually extract your memories. Because at the beginning, the reason why I trusted them at the beginning, because they told me things from my childhood that I don't even remember.
Wow.
So I was convinced that they really kind of like got power there for a while. And I was so confused for about over a month, to be honest. And until I started to figure out, actually, until they started to torture me every night, they, for some reason, they didn't want me to sleep. Now, their reason is they didn't want me to, they want me to be tired because they want to talk all the time. But nowadays, because I exposed them already, I knew exactly who they are. So they're fed up with that. They're not demanding me to talk anymore. They try to convince me that, can you let us stay because we are not bad people? I say, well, listen, bad or not, it's the way you treat people. And you here to jeopardize my life and you hurt me. You can't say that you're a good person. And you can't say that you don't have the chance to learn things because I did share things with you for months and months and months. And now it's the time to leave, but you still refuse to leave. Even like today, before I went on this interview, they're trying to tell me that it's okay as a price that we accept, but or like they kind of determine that they will gonna treat me bad after this. See, these Arcturians, well, they call themselves Arcturians, but to me, they are just aliens. I say, listen, you cannot blackmail human beings. My opinion is if I live, I have to live fully and normal as anyone else. I'm not going to compromise because I'm scared of you. Secondly, they do have consciousness. They just don't have this kind of emotion and feeling for someone else. They don't have that concept. So they don't even have the concept to love each other. That's why they really adore human love. They were convinced that we have a different heart, better heart, and things like that. So I'm trying to explain for them. I say, well, listen, it's all about empathy. When you want love, you need to raise your empathy.
Have you ever seen them in real life? And if so, what do they look like?
Unfortunately, I never seen them because I can't, because it's obviously that they in the ship somewhere, and they know about the Nigel Webb telescope, so they try to hide away from that way. So ask the US to go and find them, but they are right out there. Now, the picture of them I saw actually on YouTube. I can't remember, but around the time before I met them, I actually watched a video and there's a picture of the body of Arcturian's blue, and it's the real body. So it's not a cartoon or drawing and things like that. But I can't remember where is it. So I kind of like got the idea how they look like, very similar to what we draw, but yeah, that kind of idea.
Have you learned what their plans are for humans in the future?
To be honest, they don't really have any plan. These people, they believe that because they live for too long, and they actually very super excited that we have human species race that so intelligent and can communicate, and they really they feel they less lonely in the universe before human came. However, because they don't have the concept of life, they don't have the concept of love and empathy. They are that dangerous. They just do the way like, for example, like they think of me as a specimen for experience, whatever that they're trying to do, to see that if they can do this with the human, and there's no way that they want to let me go. So I just have to just like live like that, pretend that I have a chronic headache every day. So I've just used work to just forget things.
Do you feel that once you open yourself to them, then they can do whatever they want with you?
Yeah, see, at the beginning, they were a bit scared contact human directly under their name, not disguised as high being or higher self, or all these things, right? They believe that humans are very spiritual and everyone worship Jesus, but they realize that we're not, because a lot of us that we're spiritual, but we're not that superstitious. So they were very primitive in the way they're thinking, but that's why they were super proud of their channeling up till they met me. And you know what? It's funny. I told them, I say, listen, you know, you are no one but just the tool for these people to make money. Do you believe it? I slapped them like that, and they really angry and upset about that. But I just have to say the truth because I'm suffering already. So there's no other way that I'm gonna be nice to them. They need to learn this lesson. At least someone need to teach them a lesson. So,
Can you tell us more about how they are torturing you?
so basically, they know our human brains, the structure very well, and this is related to the past history. If anyone have the logic of what we're watching, because I'm just like you, I just watch YouTube and things like that. I learn from real life. So they did go down because I've watched a lot of YouTube channel. People actually claim to be abducted physically. So they did come to Earth in the past, and like get these people to study our brain. For some reason, for some reason, they only interested in the brain. They're not interested in anything else. They're kind of like into kind of like that's kind of intellectual study things. But nowadays, because they completed all the job, right, all this work, they know they got all these secrets, and wonder if humans actually can be friends with them because they actually want to be friends with us too. They're not kind of like a vicious a type of species, but because they're primitive and they are very cold-hearted because they don't have the heart. Obviously, they don't know what love is. It's very dangerous. For example, for people like me, to fall in these situations, and I'm probably the only one who's gonna suffer this until whenever they let me go or they just go and find someone else.
So why do you think that they're no longer the superior race?
I just laugh them because because we just argue each other like almost every day, to be honest. So I'm too used to them now. I have no more respect for them. I told them, frankly, I said, well, I don't have respect for you because we very decent. We know what we're doing. We know how to respect each other. We have our rules. We follow our law. We protect our human rights. Everything that we're trying to achieve the whole world together. Right? Some parts still the war, but you guys don't have anything at all. So they don't have values. They don't have culture. They don't have self pride. Even if I swear them, insulted them, it doesn't mean anything to them. They don't feel it. All they know is technology. They're very proud of their technology. They call themselves what they call themselves, a king of technology, like universe technology. So they can produce energies free from whatever they do. And they are the one, these people actually built the pyramid. Can you believe it? There's a lot of theory so far, and I can confirm that because I talked to them.
Did they tell you how they built them?
Technology. I don't know what kind of technology, but obviously that those pyramids built to supply energies for Starship in the past. It's like a charging station.
Hmm.
So that
Interesting.
is the only purpose that they did it. And it's too many, they say it's too many forest woods in the past. That's why they went to the desert to do it. Because they don't have many people, no one, clear the jungles and all this sort of thing. That makes sense to me.
Have they told you anything else about Earth's history?
Well, I think they know everything about our histories, but for some reason they very kind of like strict and high protocol with each other, so they don't actually reveal any secrets. And to be honest, I'm not interested in the secrets either. I just told them that I'm only interested in my normal life. Just leave me away, or else I just expose you. And they were very, very worried. But for some reason, as I say, they've got this high consciousness, but they're not able to make some sort of like decision like human. They know that they should have left me because I'm living actually higher than them. That's why in one of my video I say, if you live higher than these aliens, they would how I say, respect you somehow, because they do have the way to process things, analyze really fast, learn much faster, a lot faster than human. But then they forget a lot too. They forget very fast too. They don't have the concept of losing things or letting go things. So once they got something, it has to be them. They will never give anyone anything.
Do you still ever channel them?
No. So basically, it's channeling is something that new recently, but it's just the communication. So if I think something or if I speak something, they will get it. For example, I'm answering you now. They get it.
They're listening.
And if they, yeah, and if they want to put some thought in my mind to reply me, they do it. So it's like it's a thought that you receive rather than voices or words. It's nothing like that at all.
What about if I ask them questions?
Yep, they will hear you.
I mean,
And that is exactly
will they
how the
give
channelers.
will they give you the answers if I ask them a question now?
Right, I can answer. Are you willing to answer?
What does that mean? No or no answer?
No answer. Yep.
Oh.
I think they're probably very paused right now. As I say, they are aware of things because obviously I've been talking with you a couple of days now and trying to arrange this professionally.
Mm-hmm.
So they worried, and they actually told me today to say, I know I should have left you. Can you just hold on a couple of more days or give us some time so we will leave you eventually? I said no, because uh, they never kept their promises. So if we deal with aliens in the future, if any kind of type of activities, don't ever trust what they say because they never keep their promise, and they would never give away anything.
So they're just manipulating us.
Yeah, and they really wants to be honest, they really wants to be on Earth one day with us, but they kind of like scare of like human beings because obviously there's a lot of wars in the past, so they was from distant and they scared of that. They're not the people into war. I I know. However, as I say, because they're very primitive, I don't know when they can upgrade their consciousness to become a more humanity or human. But they really inspired by the way human lives and work, love each other and support each other and things like that. They don't have that concept. If one of their people died, they would be like angry and mad and all this sort of thing, but they don't have that grievings. And then just forget like like human. So to be honest, like I find them very human in a way because we have consciousness, we can communicate, we can joke, we can laugh. Because at the beginning, I was very friendly to them until they start to torture me. Now, the reason why they torture me because they never had a chance to play technology on a real human body. And they believed that I was the safe human because I was very dignity and I was very mild and chill, laid back personality. I don't like aggro. I don't like fighting. I don't like swearing. But with them, they just provoke everything out of me. And and because they can do that on me, so they just kept playing until they fed up with it. And along that process of suffering, I've exposed the truth about who are they. Because at the beginning, as I say, they knew everything you knew from the childhood, so they can learn your culture too. And by the way, they really love American. They adore American until they met me, and they start to adore the UK now too.
Besides making videos on your YouTube channel and being here with me, have you told
Yep,
any of your family and friends about it?
yep. Actually, at the beginning, when they first contacted me, so they told me that they're Arcturians and I was a star seeds. Now, I actually trusted these things because I was kind of like in that line of spiritual work. Even tarot is not as spiritual. And so I kind of like think maybe I'm Arcturian star seed because I I did the test online about your personalities, and it came back to me. It say that you probably actually understand it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I actually believe it. And when they told me that, they got all these informations to convince me about things that no one knows, only me know. But they use that information to convince me that they're here to help and I'm here to complete my missions and things like that. So at the beginning, I actually believed it, and not he, but there's one of them, like the contact. They don't have name, or maybe they have name, but they never told me. But they just call themselves Arcturian. So they actually made me lie to my family that I was God, and I actually believed it. So now I don't know how they convinced me through this technology, but the feeling is real through the channeling. When you're channeling, like you ask the channelers, they will have this kind of like overwhelmed feeling. I don't know how they do it, but they can excite you. They're very intelligent in that way when it's using technology. And but then I realized, all right, okay, so it's a long story, but basically they convinced me that, and so I actually told my mom. I told my best friend in Belfast. I told my friend in here in Scotland, and I told my teacher, and I told my best friend in Vietnam too. And my teacher actually believed it because they made me convinced that they can treat any health through technology. So at the beginning, I really believed them everything. So I actually told my teacher because his son has autism. So I apologized my teacher after I realized the truth, right? But at the beginning, I told him, I say, well, if you can come to my mom's house because they say to pay off the karma past life. Because at the beginning they still cheated me through these spirituality things, religions, but I'm not religious. And but I believe in karma. Right? So they say that my teacher had to pay off the karma. So to pay off the karma, he needs to pay 2,000. And I say, how he pays 2,000 to whom? And they say, just give it to your mom because you will go and die tomorrow with us. Because I'm supposed to be God and resurrect and all this sort of thing. I couldn't believe that people like me, because I'm very intellectual, actually believe in this bullock, and I did. They are very ashamed later on about these stories. I actually apologize to my teacher, but not in details. I just trying to avoid it because for me it's embarrassing. And they did tell me that they embarrassed about these things too, so they don't want to me to like repeat the stories. However, after I exposed the truth that just normal aliens, no high beings, nothing, no God. Um, they start to kind of being more friendly and trying to learn to be in harmony with me. So they try all sort of ways to convince me that let us stay with you because we never had chance to see real life. We can only see it from you because you know us already. So my problem is because I knew them, so they sit with me. Then I told them, I say, well, it doesn't work like that because I need my own life. Like I can't do this because like I don't like the thought is in my mind 24/7 and all the rubbish thought because I don't have any content of conversation to talk with you. They just comment on like silly thing every day that we don't even care about, but they do because they're interested in everything. Uh, but they learn it just for fun, to be honest. They just pass time.
Would you say that your message is to people don't start channeling?
Yep, absolutely. Because there's no one out there. And to be honest, in Vietnam, we have a lot of like a famous master who actually can communicate with dead people, but they can locate all the tombs of the veterans in the past in the war, and they hire by a government and things like that. Now that is true because the government actually hire them and pay them to find all these tombs of missing veterans. But there's no such thing like Jesus alive and talking to you. No.
Were you raised Buddhist?
Well, I'm non-religious, but I've never, I'm never religious. But in Vietnam, yeah, Buddhism is the one of the most popular one. But it's kind of like the belief rather than practicing it. They start to practice it more nowadays, but it's unlike Thailand or Cambodia and things like they are strictly Buddhist. But we're not. We're different.
A lot of people talk about the aliens called the Greys. Pretty sure you know who I'm speaking of, the little gray ones with the big eyes. Have they told you who those are?
I actually never heard of the stories, so I will actually go and look to see what is the grace. Or can you tell me what is the grace?
The aliens that, you see in popular culture. They're short, real skinny, with big heads and big almond-shaped eyes.
Oh, that's the sort of the UFO. If I don't know how to find that channel again, but it was the UFO aliens that we're talking about, and that's them. There's no other aliens, only one type of aliens like that. I don't know where they're from, but obviously that they in the universe forever. And there are not many of them either, but a small group.
So the Arcturians are those beings, physically.
Yeah,
But they're
yeah.
not, are they blue or are they gray?
Well, I would say because I never seen them in real life, but I would say that they blue because they're very proud of like because whenever I play that song, I'm blue, da ba dee da da. They really love that song. That is one of their most favorite tune. I don't know where they learned it, but obviously that they knew it, and they love humans' sense of humor too. They love the way that we work, the way we create the law and follow the law and create all these kind of human rights and movements, for peace and love and things like that. For humanity, they really into these things. They adore what we're doing. However, they can't do it. That's the problem. For some reason, they got this kind of blockage because they didn't understand everything. For example, with me, they understand that they did the wrong things to me. They apologized to me many, many times. If I say they're bad or good, well, they're not bad, they're not good. But then because of the primitive thought, the way that they can't change themselves to be more humanity, as a result, if they in contact with someone, that person gonna suffer. Yeah, the ideas of the channels, the sin of Arcturian Council. At the beginning, to be honest, I don't want to expose their work. I told them, I say, well, listen, I'm very civilized. I'm not the sort of person that I want to expose people. And I don't create it to become a YouTuber anymore because I'm too busy with my work. I only created it, first of all, to threaten them so they stop torturing me. That's the reason why I created it. Secondly, I want to expose them in the future if, in case that I die when I get old or something like that. If there's anything happen like that, some people might go looking for the answer. So that exactly the reason why I created that channel. That's why I only posted 3 videos, uh, enough to cover all the informations I want to pass. How they came to me at the first place, like this conversation today, and how they did it, the channel, what they use technology. They're very proud of that. They call it the non-trace technology because obviously that is invisible. And I want to do another video about their traits, about the primitive things, the thought that I just told you today. So maybe thanks to your channel, I don't have to do another videos. And that is exactly why I reached out. And what upset me is, right, I tried to reach out to a couple of channels actually in their Facebook and things like that. I sent even text message. I even sent text message to Gaia. I even sent text message to private some podcast channel like yours. Only you came back interested because I was looking for someone interested in my message because it's humanity. I know that I'm the only one who's suffering, but then I think 1K is enough. And no one actually interested, everyone interested in business. And only you got back to me. That's why I'm just feeling, I told them today, I said, you know what? I'm actually feeling justified with my decision to go ahead with this interview. And I don't need to prepare anything because things just happened for the past 6 months. I know exactly what to say, just telling the truth.
Do you think that after this video today, they will leave you alone?
No, as I explained to you, I try all sort of things, right? So in the past, I use it to exchange for, as I said, stop hurting me. But when, see, a few days before I actually met you, they started to do things on my head again. So then they stopped leaving me alone. So they left me alone for a little bit, not long, but then they play up again because they realized that all these people on Facebook and even the new channel I created, no one interested in it. People actually came to me and comment in the Facebook because I've got a Facebook page for the scene of Arcturian too, because I just make it professional like I used to do tarot. And people actually say, are you like, they think I'm crazy, they slap me. I was thinking, you know what? These people, right? There's a lot of people out there is so ignorant. You need to kind of look into what you talk or who you're talking to because you're like, I'm the one who's working for the bank. I'm not a crazy person. And I went to the police to report because at the beginning I believed that they wanted to kill me. They were really, really aggressive at the beginning. So I actually did go to the police to report it. Now the police didn't believe me, so they put me into crazy hospital. I was in this crazy hospital for a month. The doctor say, "Why are you here?" He said that you're not crazy at all, and they just let me go.
So the
Just
doctors
sent me home.
so the doctors believe that the Arcturians are torturing you?
And I think professionally they don't. They think it's the class is as some sort of like episode, something like that. But then all the staff, all the nurses, because I actually used to work for the hospital before, so I'm kind of used to the way that we work with each other. And they all question me. I say, "Why are you here? So what is that about these, aliens? Are they real or what they doing?" But in the hospital, they were very quiet because at the beginning, they believe that if I'm in public, they don't want to be exposed, through me. But then they get used to because obviously they understand that no one can see them. So they're very comfortable, torturing me or doing whatever they do on my head, even now. But then I was thinking, you know what? I'm gonna show you how, what I mean is by that you cannot mistreat me. Why you good to your channelers? And why you did it to me? Meanwhile, you get a lot of valuable lessons through the way I live and work, and because they really adore the way I treat people, because everyone loves me and everyone respect me, and they really want to become like me. But they are crazy. I said, you're not human. You cannot become a human. You can become more humanity, yes. Why you have the ideas you want to be me? Sometimes I find them very what's the word? Uh, sick, because of the idea is so crazy. I want to be me. Want to live my life through me. I said no, that's not possible.
When you first started channeling them, did you have any doubts that you were really doing it?
Actually, they explained to me the reason why they picked me because I look like a boy. And because I look like a boy and I was Asian, so they believe that I'm the safe human to contact. They don't like to contact the white people, especially American, to expose themselves. So they kind of target me as a vulnerable target. And in fact, I am vulnerable. I've been vulnerable.
How?
It's just because they think that I'm easier, so I will accept them. I cannot do anything. I don't know how to break out like this interview here. But then later on, after they learned about my personality, my knowledge, my e- everything background and things like that, they realize that I'm so intellectual and I've gained a lot of life experiences because obviously that I've been living across the world for like 41 years now. So they started to respect me more. However, they cannot get out of the ideas that I'm the one who easy for them. That's why they refuse to leave, and they will promise you anything, like to shit talk you. So you okay for them, so they can talk to you. But I say no, I don't want to talk to you.
Have they at least ever showed you their crafts up in the air?
No, this kind of contact is strictly through the thought. And as I say, they are very careful. They for some reason they just the way they like it because they used to it. They don't like to be known. I mean, they're not like a warmongers things or people. They are not like that. They do love to learn how to be more respectable, self-respect, self-esteem, because and they never learn or know understand themselves until this time when they connect with me 24/7. So basically I reflect my personality and whatever dignity that I learned from from culture, from family traditions and all this stuff. So I reflect with them, so they kind of start to realize who they are, why they're so bad, why they don't have self-esteem. They don't have self-esteem. They don't understand what self-esteem means. They don't understand what promise means, why promises needs to be kept. So a lot of things that at the beginning I was like, are you for real? It's just kind of a standard thing. But later on, when I start to learn about them, because to be honest, my experience is more about common chat. So we don't talk about their things. But I love to talk about my life, how I got through all the obstacles and things like that, and how I bounced back with my strength, using my knowledge and things like that. So they really admire me in a way. But then I told them, I said, well, listen, you don't. They got this kind of extremists about them, of getting obsessed over me, and it makes me scared of the way that they trying to contact me and not let me go. All I ask is just leave me alone. I don't want to interfere your work. If you want to talk to human, go there and talk to anyone you want. Just love them or behave. But no one's gonna love you if you just contact them and then they told me that for some reason they cannot stop playing with my head because they love my head because the shape of my head. It's crazy.
Do you think star seeds are real?
No, absolutely nothing. It's shocking. And you can trust me because I used to trust all these things. Only few months ago, thanks to these aliens, they show me what is the reality. And I have to thank them for that, to be honest. Because I try to hold on doing tarot and things like that. And I do love helping people. So I have the abilities of kind of like reading astrology and things like that and put it into perspective. Now, the people love my work, but for some reason, right, if you are a YouTuber, you understand that not everyone can make money. So I only treat them as like kind of like passion rather than for money. But when I start to talk to them, I realize that like this is not the reality that I'm looking for. I need something more proper, like a paid job. And that's when I stop it and then I turn to the bank and then I work for the bank. And I'm much happier now work-wise, and I'm ready to have a new life. Only one thing on the way. These Arcturians, and they need to go. And they listen to right now. And I hope that they will use their consciousness to let me go eventually.
There are no star seeds. The only aliens out there are Arcturians. Are there any
Yep.
other shocking things that you can reveal to us?
No, that's the truth. So they did tell me that they travel all the universe and there's no life out there, it's only them, and they adore Earth because only Earth has living things, and especially since the humans started to, evolutionize, and so they've been in contact with humans the whole time, especially at the beginning. Now, I don't know about the truth if they put the DNA into the human species or not, but there's some sort of theory that I watched on YouTube. However, I denied that to them because they kind of use it, but then I realized that they only use your knowledge to play with you. So I say, no, I say, I watched that online. Who told you that? And I say, even you gave us, I don't care. So that because I'm too familiar with them now, I'm just that's how I talk to them. But at beginnings, I was so confused. I don't know what's going on. Who are they? What they're trying to do? And they're too curious about our life. But then their curiosity can kill a human being because their technology actually not safe. They thought it's safe until they realize that they can do a lot other things with it, and that's exactly why I have to go through all these torturing. They try different way of pains and different path, and it is physically from outside to the head, so it's a physical pain. It's not inside.
So you get pain
I
like in your scalp, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's agony, yeah, but I'm all right because I just move on with my life. I just focus on what I'm doing.
Well, it's good that you're able to block them out so you can still have a job.
Um, yeah, you see, but that is why it's going to be interesting for our channelers to hear what I say. To be honest, if you focus on something, they cannot communicate, like they can have a conversation with you. Sometimes it can be like the beginning of the sentence, but then you just don't hear the rest of it because what they do is they will raise the first part of the sentence and they just let you think. Because they believe that that's how they learn from what you actually think about something. But because I know their technique, I actually can play up with them. I can think things that I don't think to have a laugh at them, or I can cut off in the middle of sentence. I said, well, I said, don't play me because I know all your trick. So when you do channeling, they will raise something, for example, like I have a card, a nine card, for example. So they will say I have, and then you just go a nine card, and it sleep with me every night and all this sort of thing. So you just go on and on and on, and they just kind of like follow you like that. It took me a while, but then, I can recognize everything based on my logic. And they told me that I had a very good logic. I can analyze even Arcturians. They believe that I'm one of the best human for them. so they can learn from the way they know. I say, excuse me, what you're thinking. I'm nothing. Go out there. Anyone is more actually intelligent than me out there. So their extreme is actually something that scares me all the time. That they will be very obsessive, and probably I will just live like this until the end of my life. But that's fine. It's just how it goes.
You recommend that people don't channel. Do you have any other recommendations for humanity?
That if you don't be scared of these aliens, Arcturians, whatever that they want to call. Don't be scared, because to be honest now, they're not a warmongers, as I say. They do have consciousness, and they do know if they're wrong or if they're right. But if you in my situations, don't be scared. Just go out there, expose them. Contact Jeff, for example, or anyone like Jeff in the future, because like one voice is not enough, and then two voice, and then maybe one day is 1,000 voice. It's a record of what we discover. Or if people don't believe what I say, then treat it as something very entertaining stories. But at least we should do something. First of all, we have to show them who we are and why we are brave species, and also to show them why they actually inspired by us. Because we're not, because like, see, the idea is they will hurt you, so you scared, so you are under their control. So basically they don't control you to make you bad, but they will control you in a way that you have to talk to them. It's pain in the ass, so like a pest. Now they hate that word pest from me, because it makes them petty, and they kind of like got angry easily. But for some reason, because we've been dealing with each other over 6 months now, nearly 7 months, we kind of like get adapted to each other. So they actually adapted to my insulting, and they don't like me to insult them in Vietnamese, because they actually learn Vietnamese from me. So I can speak with them Vietnamese. Can you believe it? And I love to swear at them in Vietnamese because it's my mother tongue, and in Vietnamese it's very vivid language. I don't want to swear here, right?
Mhm.
But and they hate it, and they say you have to speak English. I said no. And so I did have some fun with them along the way. Not all are bad. That's the truth. However, as I say, that's obsession. Ridiculously trying to like jeopardize someone's life. Don't let them live a life. That's horrible. Especially when they can't get something, they want to cause you pain. Now I kind of said that. I'd rather suffering pain, but go in here and tell you things, rather than just have to do whatever let them to stay with me. They're trying to say that because you don't consent us to be with you, that's why we have to be kind of like violent to you. And I say, yeah, but that's exactly my point of view. You cannot get things through violence.
If you look at a lot of channelers out there, they have good messages. And
Mhm.
since they're coming from these Arcturians, why are they putting out good information?
But that's exactly why I try to tell them that I didn't want to do all the things I'm doing today, because I say, first of all, I don't have the habit to put my nose into the people business. Secondly, the message they try to spread out is pretty cool to me, because it's kind of a new idea about one consciousness. And you know what is the one consciousness from? Because they think the same way. I even call them a robot, and they were very offended at the beginning, but now they kind of used to me, so they just don't care. But they think the same, and they do the same things. They copy it because they're living with each other for too long, that they actually mirroring each other so close that they become one like that. So that's the idea of the one consciousness. So that is where it's from. So I did tell them, I say, well, at the beginning, I said, well, listen, your work is not a bad work. It actually to give the inspiration to humans. So at the beginning, I didn't want to expose them. So the channel that I created sometimes when at the beginning, I even, I post the video and then I even, switch it to private because I try to kind of like give them time and the chance to leave me. But they don't care. They don't care anything. Even I come here today, they don't care. They even accepted the price that the story is gonna spread out there. There's a good chance that no one cared about this, and we're still ignorant. So it's fine. If they accept it, I accept my price. If they accept their price, and that's it.
Before we finish up, is there one last message that you have for everybody?
That whenever that we watch something online, this is from what I learned from this experience. We should put more analysis on it. Don't just take things as granted and assume things like what I did. And then thanks to this experience, I realized that I will grow in a lot of things of my belief. And I changed. I changed after that. And I felt so much better. I'm feeling more practical in the way I'm running my life and organize things and, work and things like that. But before that, I was very dreamy too, and kind of like a lot of dreams and hope and, very romanticism things. But I learned a lot. So they actually taught me this lesson, which a little bit bitter lesson to learn.
Andy, thank you for your message and thank you for being my guest.
Thank you very much for having me. And I hope that we can keep in touch in the future. If any chance, I need to have once more time.
Sure. Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.